This message presented by the NFHS and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We joined Valentine Insurance Agency's friendly talking turtle during a timeout in the basketball game. Trusty, it's a great game so far.
Sure is. We're playing to win.
But they play to win at Valentine Insurance Agency, too.
And that's why I'm a fan of Valentine Insurance Agency. I want winning coverage and winning prices.
And they deliver at Valentine Insurance Agency.
It's time to play ball.
It's time for you to call Valentine Insurance Agency at 263-1111. Since 1964, they've been winning for their clients.
And time now to take a look at your news on this Saturday evening, February 10th, here on Information Radio Quicks. Two Columbia residents were hurt in an accident that killed a Kansas City woman on I-435 in Clay County at around 8:10 last night. The State Highway Patrol says 53-year-old Julie Grossi's SUV went off the right side of the northbound lanes and hit a guardrail, crossed back over the highway, hit a concrete barrier, and overturned. Her SUV was then hit by one driven by 40-year-old Robert Patterson of Columbia. Grossi was taken to a North Kansas City hospital where she died from her injuries. Patterson had moderate injuries, and a 15-year-old boy in his vehicle had serious ones. Monroe City Mayor Melissa Hayes will leave that post in April. Much of her two-year term has involved battling staffing shortages within city administration. Hayes says this includes the recent departure of City Administrator Tamitha Ague.
We needed a city administrator when I came on. So administrative committee council hired a gal, and she was just not the right fit. I seen that early on, but you have to have 2/3 vote from your council to make that happen. So finally, we did terminate our city administrator.
Hayes details some other movement in city administration.
We hired a city clerk, and she is pretty new. She's been here for 3 or 4 months, but very knowledgeable in the financial sector. And we fired a utility clerk that had been here for years and years with Monroe City. So we had to hire a new utility clerk, which we have a lady that was the city clerk in Perry, Missouri. So she has brought with her some knowledge, and she's been a blessing to our team as well. So we have all new people in our administration right now.
One position that hasn't been filled is city administrator. Hayes says there are a couple of reasons why that has remained unfilled.
We do not have to operate Monroe City with a city administrator. Now, since my term is about up, I did not want to hire a city administrator. I want the group that I have right now to be fully supported and well-grounded in their roles before another new individual is possibly thrown in the mix. So I'm going to leave that up to new elected officials.
Hayes isn't seeking re-election as Monroe City Mayor. Ron Miller is running unopposed in the April election. Missouri's U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt was among those voting against a Mexico border security bill this week. He says he was against it before former President Donald Trump opposed it.
The fact that the negotiations, these secret negotiations, ended up with a bad bill, that's nobody's fault, but the fact that the language is terrible. And so, I was elected to represent Missourians. This bill would only exacerbate the human trafficking we see, which is a nightmare, the drug trafficking that we see, which is a nightmare, and, by the way, the national security risk that we have by having an open border.
Schmidt says there should be one bill per issue with full debate on the content of each bill. The Kirksville City Council has approved a contract with David E. Ross Construction of Raytown for improvements to the Kirksville water purification plants. Plans call for a new primary clarifier to be added to the plants. Communications Director Austin Miller says this improvement is vital for the plant's operations.
So that will increase the amount of treated water that is available. So there's more water on hand if there was ever any issue with the other clarifier. It also has more water ready in case there's a large-scale housing development or some kind of factory. It just increases the availability of treated water on hand.
Construction on the improvements to the Kirksville water purification plants are tentatively planned for late August or early September. And people with mental health and substance abuse disorders are increasingly impacting the state's courts. That's according to Missouri Supreme Court Justice Mary Russell. During her annual State of the Judiciary address to the state legislature on Wednesday, she said she wants lawmakers to add mental health courts to the list of approved treatment courts.
Our jails have become the largest mental health facilities in our counties. But that's not how jails are designed, nor how their staff are trained. Jails should be used in the short term to detain people accused of crimes or found guilty of minor crimes. Concrete cell blocks are not conducive for treating mental health or addiction issues.
Russell said the longer inmates with mental health problems remain in jail without treatment, or without being tried for a crime, let alone convicted, the worse they get. Taking a look real quick at your sports scoreboard before heading back to MACC men's basketball. Hall of Fame Classic at Father Tolton today. Some scores out there. The South Harrison girls defeated North Callaway 59-36, while the Sacred Heart boys defeated North Callaway 71-45. The Hawaii's girls defeated Tipton 52-43, and it was Columbia Battles girls over Montgomery County 41-35. A couple girls boys doubleheaders going on in the area today. I got one final from those as the Centralia girls knocked off Palmyra by a count of 66-51. Boonville in a boys game defeated Smith Cotton tonight by a count of 58-52. Also, we will have wrestling results from the girls' wrestling districts later tonight on our website at centralmoinfo.com. And don't forget, you can check out our full game recaps online underneath our sports tab as well. That includes our high school games from last night and our college games from today. We can already tell you on Crest today, it was Truman State with a sweep of Indianapolis, 79-72 in the women's game, 85-76 in the men, with Coach Jeff Horner getting win number 100. With that, we are going to head back to Moberly Area Community College as the MACC men are set to take the floor this evening for their contest. That is up next as they take on West Plains. Stay tuned. JB Conley is on the other side.
It's time for Moberly Area Community College Greyhounds basketball.
He's right, feeds it back near side. Sykes open for a three. Bang! Hayes on the board. The Hounds by 14 with 6:20 remaining until halftime.
This broadcast is brought to you by Arts Appliance, Furniture, Electronics, and Flooring. John Cochran with Valentine Insurance Agency. R.G. Mongler Real Estate. B-Craft Jewelers. Napa Auto Parts, all of Moberly. Marco Fabricators, LLC of Rennick. PK Wise Agency in Moberly and Sellers Wines Insurance in Salisbury. Sheraton Valley, keeping you connected. The Hunting Corner of Monroe City. Regional Missouri Bank with branches in Keatsville, Salisbury, Glasgow, Paris, Brookfield, and 2 locations in Marceline and Moberly. And Moberly Area Community College in Moberly, Macon, Kirksville, Hannibal, Mexico, Columbia, and online. Now, here's the voice of the Greyhounds, JB Conley.
And welcome back for Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight here on Information Radio Quicks. Lady Hounds getting a 90-45 win over Crowder earlier. We're ready for the men's contest as the Greyhounds will take on the West Plains Grizzlies. We're going to take a 60-second break, and when we come back, we will have your starting lineups. You're listening to Greyhounds basketball on Information Radio Quicks and CentralMoInfo.com.
As independent agents, the folks at PK Wise Agency in Moberly and Sellers Wise Insurance in Salisbury offer auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Their experienced agents work on your behalf to find the right coverage at the best possible rate for you. When you have a claim, you have the backing of reliable, experienced agents. That's why area residents rely on PK Wise and Sellers Wise for all their insurance needs. Celebrating well over 100 years in business, your independent insurance agents at PK Wise and Sellers Wise put you first.
Hey girl, have you heard about the unbelievable low prices on diamonds at B-Craft Jewelers in downtown Moberly? Chris's stunning selection of natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, moissanite. Oh, I just can't wait to see a beautiful, huge diamond on my right hand. I'll tell Rick to go buy me a rock. Chris can even design the brilliant diamond piece. You can actually see a picture of what it will look like on your hand. Wait, I have two hands. Remember, if you can dream it, Chris at B-Craft, he can design it. And thank you to all these satisfied, loyal customers who voted B-Craft Jewelers in downtown Moberly the #1 jeweler in Northeast Missouri.
And welcome back to Fitzsimmons John Arena. We will have our post-game recap with Coach Erica Harris coming up halftime of this one. As her squad winning early tonight, 90-45. Let's give you the starting lineups for game number 2 tonight between the Greyhounds and the Grizzlies. Starting with the visitors, the West Plains Grizzlies coming in with a record of 8-16 on the year. They have lost 8 in a row. They are 1-8 on the road this season. And their lineup tonight looks like this. At guard, 6'2" sophomore from Detroit, Michigan. Number 0, Kyle Germany. Guard, 6'3", freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Number 1, Kamari Vinson. At 4 to 6'5", sophomore from Southfield, Michigan. Number 2, Carlos Paul III. At guard, a 6'4" freshman from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Number 12, Ergi Kunami. And at forward, 6'8" freshman from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Number 33, Lionel Tumwimba. The Grizzlies coached by Jared Fade. His 4th season assistant is Michael Poindexter. And for your Moberly Greyhounds, coming with a record of 18-5, 5-2 in Region 16. Our starters at guard, 6'3", 190-pound sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia. Number 1, Takeo Carpenter. Guard, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore from Columbia Rockbridge. Number 2, Xavier Sykes. At guard, 6'5", 180-pound sophomore from Waterbury, Connecticut. Number 21, Akili Evans. At guard, 6'2", 175-pound sophomore from St. Louis. Number 22, Freddie Cooper. And at forward, back in the lineup, 6'8", 240-pound freshman from Cape Girardeau. Number 33, Cameron Williams. Greyhounds coached by Pat Smith in his 15th season. The assistants are Blake Kingsley and Michael Lolio. Once again, just back in their way over on 99.9, the captain. Mizzou home tonight to take on Jimmy Bell of Mississippi State. Pregame in their way right about now. Tip at 7:30 tonight over on 99.9, the captain. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with your opening tap. You're listening to Greyhounds basketball on AM